Well, now while I did my first time watches and rewatches for October, but back to back, I did not include the horror flicks. But now you're gonna get them. I watched tons of horror flicks and what have you. So I'm gonna start it off with my first time watches of the horror flicks I watched during Spook-tacular October. Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. So greetings, my fellow YouTubers, and welcome to Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. My name's Doyle, better known to as the Big D, and this time around I'm going to bring to you the first of two rankings for my recent Spook-tacular October. This is going to be my first time watches. I watched 20 of them. Now, some I had only watched some of them, but not all of them though. But I'll get to those when I get started. Well, one anyway at the bottom of the chain, but I'll tell you what that is when I get to it, alright? Now I'm going to try to go as rapid fire as I can, so so I humbly apologize if you won't, since you're not going to see much of myself and what have you. I hope y'all understand. I want to try and go through this as fast as I can and try not to get into too much, and that way I can conserve time and what have you, okay? So I humbly do apologize. Once I'm done with the ranking, you'll see me again, I promise. Okay, I watched 20, like I said, but I watched a whopper in the rewatches. You just wait and see. But for now, the first time watches. Alright, let's get into this. Coming in at number 20 is Nightmare on Elm Street 2010. Now, although I had seen some of this movie before, but not all of it, I dozed off during one watch, but I took my chances and watched this, and well, I wasn't too thrilled with a lot of it. Now, I appreciate Jackie Earle Haley's portrayal of Freddy, but he's nowhere as good as Robert Englund, though. Oh, no, sir. This film is now at the bottom of the chain, so I'd rather rewatch Freddy's Dead or Dream Child over this abomination. Number 19 is The Addams Family 2. Now, I went and saw this, and well, it's a little bit of a step up from the first film in ways, but it's still not that good, though. But I still like it for what it is, and seeing the Addams go out on the road, I gotta say, this film was pretty good in ways. I mean, I like the voice acting cast. I know we got most of the same, but not all of them, though. Still, it's a spooktacular fun flick in ways. Your kids might enjoy this. Check it out if you haven't. Coming in at number 18 is The Hills Have Eyes 2 from 2007. While I do like this being gory and stuff, but I didn't quite enjoy this as much as its predecessor, but hey, I think I would rather rewatch this over the original second one, even though considering Wes Craven was back in the director's seat for that. But anyway, The Hills Have Eyes 2 from 2007, it's reasonable, but it still has good, bloody, gory moments and what have you, so that makes it worth a little bit of a one-time watch. Coming in at number 17 is Hell Night from 1981. Now, I watched this on Tubi, and, well, it's pretty good in ways. I mean, with Linda Blair in this, after doing the first two installments of the Exorcist franchise, she's actually pretty good in this. I do like how this turns out. It's just the first time watch. It might go up a little more in my liking and what have you. I like this, though. I mean, consider it's an 80s horror flick, and well, you know how 80s horror flicks can be at times, but I still thought this was pretty good, and consider it was from Compass International, the same studio that did the original Halloween. Hell Night's worth looking into. I think you'll enjoy it. Coming in at number 16 is Night Books. Now, this recent Netflix film, which came out back in September of this year, I didn't know much about until I decided to look into it, thanks to my good friend Malcolm Cooper, aka the movie Wizard of Oz, and I thought I'd check it out. It's pretty spooky in some ways. It is like a Hansel and Gretel tale, and well, it's pretty good in some ways, but there were just some things I thought could be done couldn't be done in this movie, but I'll explain if I ever review this film. But I do like how it turned out. This little boy writing spooky tales. Yeah, this film's pretty good. I think the kids might enjoy this. Coming in at number 15 is The Thing from 2011. Now, this, of course, is the prequel to the John Carpenter classic, which will be shown on my rewatches ranking. Well, I think this was pretty good. It is pretty underrated. It's just the CGI could have been a little better in what have you, but still, it had some good goriness and what have you. I saw how the events turned out before the events of the John Carpenter classic. Mary Elizabeth Winstead was pretty good. The cast wasn't too bad. The rest of the cast, anyway. But anyway, and seeing the alien thing wasn't too bad. But again, like I said, CGI could have been a little better. Well, or whatever. It could have been better if they did practical effects or something like that, like they did with the thing in the 1982 movie. You know. Oh well. But still, the thing's pretty good in some ways. But not as great as the John Carpenter classic, which of course this would be the precursor to John Carpenter's classic. But now you know it. Enough said. Coming in at number 14 is Equinox from 1970. Now, my friend Blade Obsession recommended this film and I reviewed it. The full movie is available on YouTube if you haven't seen this. This film's kind of like The Evil Dead in ways, except when these young teens find an ancient book and unleashes these here devilishly looking monsters. This is kind of like one of those B flicks of horror back from the 60s, 70s, and I don't know, whatever. I really thought this film was pretty good in ways. I mean, it was really cool seeing a younger version of Frank Bonner in this before he even played Herb Tarlick on WKRP in Cincinnati. Anyway, Equinox is pretty good. Give it a shot. Like I said, the full movie's on YouTube. Check it out. Coming in at number 13 is Hellbound Hellraiser 2 from 1988. Now, although I do like the original Hellraiser, and this is only the second installment of the franchise I've seen, I have yet to see any other installments of this franchise. But I will say that Hellbound is pretty good in ways. I mean, it's got a lot of good bloodiness and what have you, and we get to know the names of those Cenobites, especially Pinhead. This is pretty good, and I'm glad it's a little bit of a continuation after the events of the first film. So anyway, Hellbound Hellraiser 2, I gotta say, it's good. Coming in at number 12 is Muppets Haunted Mansion. And this recent Disney Plus movie special, while just an hour, but overall, I think it's pretty fun in ways. I'm glad to see some good celebrities who appear in just about anything, especially if you're into Muppet movies. I mean, we got Will Arnett, we have lots of other great special guests in this, and I like how they do the story. Gonzo and Pepe try to spend the night in the Haunted Mansion, but they get to see crazy versions of the characters from the Haunted Mansion in the form of Kermit, Fozzie, Miss Piggy, and several others. Overall, I think this is pretty good. Now, I'm still going to try and do the little collab I'm going to do with Ogre Boy 1992. He said well, I better not. I don't want to embarrass him in ways, you know. But, we'll get a chance eventually, alright? Okay, that about covers it. But this is worth looking into. Even though Halloween may be over with, but this is worth looking into, you know. Coming in at number 11 is the new Slumber Party Massacre movie that Sci-Fi premiered. Well, I thought this was pretty good. Well, I still like the original one and its second one, the follow-up. Now, this serves as a little bit of a continuation after the events of the first film in ways. But anyway, I gotta say, this is an awesome movie. I will say that it's pretty good. I didn't review this though, but if I ever get a chance, maybe I'll make up for lost time and what have you one day in the future. But anyway, the cast isn't too bad, just some of it was a little odd. But nevertheless, I gotta say, Slumber Party Massacre 2021 was pretty good. And it was pretty gory too in some ways with the kills, you know. Coming in at number 10 is Count Dracula from 1970. I believe this is one of those few Hammer horror flicks I'm sure a lot of my horror fanatic friends have been talking about. So when I saw this was on there, on Tubi, I thought I'd check it out. It's pretty good. Christopher Lee is excellent as the title character, and this film was just so good. I'd say it is kind of pretty loyal to the actual Bram Stoker novel, or so I read. But hey, you don't have to take my word for it. You be the judge. But anyway, this Count Dracula movie is pretty good, and I think y'all give it a try if you haven't seen it. I know Christopher Lee did other Dracula movies before and maybe after this, but well, you know the rest of the story if you've seen them. Coming in at number 9 is Magic from 1978. Now, one of my good friends, Jason of Horrific Nightmares JM, he's of course one of the Super Slash brothers. He actually likes this movie, and after I have been seeing his profile picture with the picture of the dummy from this, I thought I'd look into it. Since I found it on Tubi and I watched it, I gotta say, it's really good. Sir Anthony Hopkins, well, a younger version of him, I think, before he was Sir, is really good in this. I also like the performances we got from Anne Margaret and Burgess Meredith and the others. This was kind of like Psycho in ways, except it involves, a guy who's a ventriloquist with this here puppet who really can steal the show with some kills. I also like the score, which was done by one of my favorite composers, the late great Jerry Goldsmith. This score was pretty good, and I gotta say, Magic's pretty good. I'll have to review this sometime. Coming in at number 8 is Wes Craven's The People Under the Stairs from 1991. Now, I think I've seen a little bit of this movie before, but I don't think I've seen all of it. After watching it, I recall that I had not seen all of this film. I must say, this film's very underrated, but it's pretty scary, though, in some parts. I mean, I liked the setting of the house, and, these crazy parents people are the parents of this, young girl, but, you probably know the story and what have you, if you've seen the movie. I need to review this sometime down the road. I know it turned 30 this year, but I'll try and make up for it if I do a review of it. This film was just so good. I watched it on Peacock, and I gotta say, again, not bad. Coming in at number 7 is Prometheus from 2012. My mistake. Now, this, of course, serves as a prequel to Alien, and I must say, this film is really something, with a pretty good cast that includes Michael Fassbender, and I think Charlize Theron's in this, and several others. This film's pretty awesome. I liked the setting for the cave and what have you, the people go into and encounter these weird, alien worms or something like that. Yeah, that's really cool. Prometheus, I think, is awesome in some ways. Ridley Scott did an exceptionally good job at this. Now, I have reviewed the first 2 Alien movies. I haven't reviewed the rest, but next year that could change because I might review the rest down the road. Prometheus, it's awesome. You gotta check this out if you haven't. Coming in at number 6 is David Cronenberg's Videodrome from 1983. Now, this would be the second film I watched on Peacock after I watched Halloween Kills, which we'll see where that winds up. But I gotta say, well, I've only seen his remake of The Fly, which came out a few years after this, but this film is exceptionally good. I mean, I like the performances we got from James Woods and Debbie Harry, of course, you know, Blondie fame. I mean, the band Blondie, of course. Um, I think this was when she was soon started to start her solo career of a singer. But anyway, I gotta say, the effects in this was really creepy but awesome. This is why David Cronenberg really gave us some really good, shocking body horror flicks. I gotta say, if you haven't seen this film, you gotta check it out. I might review this down the road. Coming in at number 5 is Fear Street 1666. Now, this was the final installment of this recent trilogy Netflix gave us based on R.L. Stein's book series for teenagers. Yeah, the guy who brought us Goosebumps and The Haunting Hour gave us this. Well, I'm going to say it's kind of my least favorite of this. Well, the first hour of this takes place in 1666, but goes back to reality to 1994 where the series first started. But anyway, it's still pretty good. I gotta say, I gotta give credit to this. I mean, the atmosphere of 1666 was really good, and I gotta say, this film's awesome. We'll see where the other two wind up. So anyway, that's Fear Street 1666. You should check out my back-to-back review of the trilogy. It's up on YouTube. Check it out. Coming in at number 4 is Frankenstein Meets the Wolfman from 1943. Now, after seeing the classic flicks for the first time in I don't know how long, I actually got recommended this by one of my fellow YouTubers and said to check this out. Well, Peacock had this, and I thought I'd check this out. They still got some of those other Universal monster flicks available. I mean, well, I haven't watched all of those, but I will. Anyway, this film's pretty good. We got the same person back as the Wolfman, Lon Chaney Jr. I mean, he was once again real good. We had Bela Lugosi, who played Dracula as Frankenstein. Yeah, the monster, of course. And he wasn't too bad either. They brought back some of the characters from the first Wolfman and the cast players. Anyway, Frankenstein Meets the Wolfman, I think that was pretty awesome. I might review this down the road sometime. Coming in at number 3 is Fear Street 1994. Now, this is the first installment of this recent Netflix trilogy. I must say, this had a good feel to it. I mean, it just reminded me of all those slashers that came out during the 90s. Well, this was 1994, and we were just a bit away from Scream, I Know What You Did Last Summer, Urban Legend, and several others. But even so, Fear Street 1994 is really good. I love the atmosphere, the story, yeah, just about everything this movie had to offer. Again, you gotta check out my back-to-back review of the trilogy. It's really good. It did okay. My review, that is. Alright, for the final two, it was almost a tough decision, but hey, you don't have to take my word for having, well, you'll see. Coming in at number 2 is Fear Street 1978. Now, this picked up after we saw, into the events after the first one had ended, and I'm going to say this was even better. Because I like the feel of it, the camp setting. Yeah, remind me of those films that took place in the camps that would come out, like Friday the 13th, and Sleepaway Camp, and The Burning. Yeah. This film was just so awesome. It was kind of strange though, but still, it was worth watching. This is my favorite of the Fear Street trilogy. I gotta say, this is awesome. It's bloody, it's... well, you get the idea. Okay, I'm back. Hi again, everyone. Don't worry, I'm going to show you number 1 in just a moment. But I'm going to say, I sure hope you've been going through this so far and what have you. So anyway, I think all these films were really good, especially the second Fear Street. It was just so cool. But hey, I like horror flicks as long as they got the good this and what have you. I think it's just so awesome. So now, without further ado, here it is, my number one first time watch of Spook-tacular October is Halloween Kills. Now, this was the first film I watched when I got Peacock, and I gotta say, this is a very good movie. Despite it's low on the tomato meter, but I don't care. I like this. This was a big step up from the last Halloween. Jamie Lee Curtis was once again good. I mean, Judy Greer was a little better. Andy Matichak was good. I mean, Anthony Michael Hall wasn't that bad as Tommy Doyle, but it was good to have Nancy Stevens back as Marion Chambers, and Kyle Richards as Lindsay Wallace, and Charles Cyphers as Lee Brackett. Only he's a security guard and not the sheriff. But anyway, Halloween Kills is awesome. The kills were pretty darn awesome. Best I'd seen in the last few Halloweens. It's awesome. This is one flick you cannot afford to miss out on. I think you should give it a watch. And now you know. Now you know all the flicks that I've watched for the first time for Spook-tacular October. Now, I'm sure I'll be doing another Spook-tacular October. Well, duh, of course I am. As long as I'm still around, keeping myself healthy, and, well, you know the rest. Anyway, Halloween Kills is my top favorite. I do hope you enjoyed this ranking, how I did for it. So if you did like it, just tell me what flicks you liked seeing on this ranking in the comment section below. If you like this video, click the like button, subscribe to my channel, and be a part of the Big D Nation. And join me next time when I bring to you a real whopper. My arm could be tuckered out when doing that. It's going to be a whopping 69 rewatches for from Spook-tacular October this year. Alright, enough said about that. But anyway, thanks for watching, and if you like this, you may want to consider checking out my reviews for these films that I've mentioned. In the upper left-hand corner is the spoiler-free review I did for Halloween Kills. The upper right-hand corner is the spoiler-free review of the Fear Street trilogy, which of course I did back-to-back. And the bottom left-hand corner is my review of Equinox. And the bottom right corner is the button you can click to subscribe. If you like rankings and reviews on movies, TV, music, video games, etc., then I'm your guy. Thank you for watching. Until next time, I'm the Big D saying, see ya.